Hey, what's up, fam? I just did this video a minute ago, but I realized that the volume was so quiet that you probably could barely hear it. So I just decided to redo it. But I kind of just wanted to get into this, kind of get into the layout of what we're getting from Hiromashima within the next couple months. As obviously people know, Eden Zero comes out this week. This is the brand new manga that he is creating after he finished Fairy Tail back in 2017, last year, and which was the second big series. It is the first, obviously, was this hit Wraith Master, second hit Fairy Tail, and hopefully the third hit Eden Zero. But besides Eden Zero, we're also getting a Fairy Tail sequel. We don't know if that sequel is going to take place immediately after where 545 left off, and we're going to see Natsu and the gang go on this 100-year quest, or if they're going to maybe do that from the anime, because I think they want to add stuff in the anime, but um, or if we're going to get in years later where all of them are kind of adults and they're all parents, and you see all the kids between the characters. I know some of the characters we've seen what their kids would look like. We have, Natsu and Lutzi's kid. We have Juvie and Gray's kid. We have Laxus and Kanada's kid. All kind of put out from fan request at a con where Hiromashima was taking he just letting people give him shout outs of something that they wanted drawn. He'd do like a quick sketch of somebody's face, and we kind of got those characters, and then he decided to do some more like pictures on his Twitter and kind of give us stuff about those characters then. But what I want to talk about here is that besides Eden Zero and the Fairy Tail sequel, we're also getting a Fairy Tail spin-off. And for those who maybe were a little bit upset with the manga about not getting essentially, I believe that there was a, a beef between Hiromashima and his editor. That's why Fairy Tail kind of everything post Irene casting Universe 1 kind of seems rushed. And Hiromashima talked about at a con a few months ago that he was a little bit upset he didn't get to put Acnologia's backstory in the manga, and so we didn't really get to find out his motivation or the events that kind of turned him into what he was, because we only saw a little bit from the Dragon Cry movie, and then like a panel or two at the end of the manga that what we were given was his hatred formed for dragons because of how destructive they were and how they humans kept either getting treated as food and killed for their own amusement, or that they would just get caught in the crossfire in between like dragons fighting, and it seems to he developed a hatred for dragons from that. But at some point during that path, and him showing up and killing all these dragons during the Dragon Civil War, and slaughtering both sides of the dragons that were pro-human and the dragons that were anti-human. Somewhere from point A to point B to point C, C being where he was in the timeline of where Fairy Tail really was taking place, that he became this kind of destruction hungry monster. And there's got to be a lot of different things that happen along that line that turned him into exactly what he hated and what he was seeking out to destroy. And if Hiromashima was he's the creator, he's the author and main artist on the Fairy Tail series, it doesn't make a lot of sense if he had control over how far he was going to go before he finished up, that he couldn't have just put Acnologia's backstory in there. And part of the thing that kind of, I think, adjusts to it is you had August's backstory kind of, or August's fight kind of get rushed, and the ending of honestly the Zara fight kind of got rushed too, and it all kind of crammed into where it conveniently ended on the to where the last chapter would eke out a full volume. And I believe some stuff like that kind of just being a little coincidental, and Hiromashima obviously wanting to put it in, and we already have stuff like he wanted to make the Tartarus arc longer, but his editors made him cut it shorter. That maybe they were limiting where he was going for some reason. We don't know what reasons behind the scenes that he maybe got rushed and wasn't able to do exactly the way he wanted to now. But I think that's why he plans to direct the anime, because the anime comes out at the end of this summer, and apparently he's going to be leading it, so he'll have full creative control and will have the ability to change anything that maybe he didn't plan and that was changed and done by the editors. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the spinoff, I'm wondering if the idea is maybe the spinoff is actually Acnologia's backstory, because he talked about it at a con. It's he had it all finished, he had it all written and done and ready to be put into the manga. He just didn't know the right spot to put it in. And from what I'm understanding is he ran out of time to extend the manga to a number to where he could have put it in regardless, and just shoved it in there in a spot where it kind of fit maybe, but didn't want to rush his backstory to where it ruined it. But instead, we didn't really get anything at all. But maybe that's what this spin-off manga will be about. We'll find out more about this. The end villain of the series. This character who was so powerful he soloed the planet twice back during the civil war amongst the dragons. For the ones that were pro-human, ones that were anti-human, Acnologia just kind of showed up with his dragon slaying power and beat both sides. We don't know where he was born, the steps that kind of led him up to becoming a dragon slayer, who his dragon slayer teacher was, what he was doing for hundreds of years while he could have beaten anybody in the time. There's a bunch of factors we have no idea because we never really got to find out about his backstory. But maybe this spin-off could give us that. Maybe Hero Machine could do a couple spin-offs, do a couple volumes on his backstory and expand out other characters as well. It'd be really cool if we kind of got like a Fairy Tale Forever Evil, where you find out more about Acnologia, found more about Zeref's rise to power, found out more about people like even smaller guys like Brain, him and his whole thing with Zero. How did that happen? Stuff like where had Hades been before he made the guild, what he had been up to, what was this thing about the Abyss of Magic. We have all these different things we could go with, but obviously the most important one, and the one that people would probably be most interested in, is Acnologia. He's not only a guy who soloed all these different, soloed the mass of dragons, of 10,000 plus dragons at one point, but also in Future Rogue's timeline had taken over the world and slaughtered anybody in his pathway. He had brought about the apocalypse. And it's not even stops there. Remember we're seeing that the space between time that was caused by time travel, this rip in space time that anything gets sucked into, it was kind of erased from existence with some with time magic, with this weird paradoxical rift like scar within the universe, and he was sucked in it, and instead of being erased, Acnologia ate this whole fucking dimension and then punched holes through reality and tore reality apart with his bare hands. This was an extremely powerful character. We want to. This is a big deal. He was the final villain, but we didn't really get to find out much about him. Could this spin-off though be his backstory? We could finally be on the verge of discovering that. But I know Hiroshima also said at a con, when someone asked him if there was going to be stuff in the anime that wasn't in the manga, he kind of smirked and said don't comment, which means that there's going to be stuff in there that wasn't in the manga. Could that be where he's putting Acnologia's backstory in there? Is it going to be in the manga? Is it going to be in the anime? What are we going to find out? But that's what this kind of like little video is about. Is what could we get with this spinoff? Would you rather have so it's Urza Nightwalker. What has she been doing in Edelus? Or what's Brandish been doing now that she went back to Alvarez? Or anything like that. More just like random character bits. I'd rather have something that has to do with the character's lore, like Zeref's rise into an emperor and leading his own continent, or even what I want more is the backstory of Acnologia and what put him from little kid, little Acnologia, little boy extraordinaire, into this badass dragon slaughtering monstrosity who can take on the rest of his planet in a fight. I don't know. But drop some comments below on what you think about this. What is it that what you want to find out in a spin-off? Could it be Acnologia because you wanted Seraph one? You want a Hades one? Even more of maybe even more of Irene. What it was Irene doing before? For all that gap of time as just a dragon. Was she just sitting there? Was she out causing trouble? Who knows? But yeah, drop some comments below. Like, favorite, subscribe. I gotta say, you gotta if you Eden Zero is about to come out this week. If you want to get Eden Zero information, news, chapter reviews before anybody else on YouTube, I am currently the only person on YouTube who has a full chapter 1 review of Eden Zero. So subscribe to this channel. Check out my other ones. I do both manga and comics. So it looks like people prefer manga. I'm probably going to start to do more manga, but I want to stick to, giving a little bit of comic information too, doing a couple comic reviews. But, get ready for Eden Zero. It's going to be awesome. Comes out in a few days. And, God, I feel like I've been awake all day, and it's only it's almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. But, yeah, so thank you very much. Give the thumbs up if you like the video, and like I said, like, favorite, subscribe. Give a comment on what you'd want in a spinoff from this upcoming one, and from the Fairy Tale universe. So thank you very much, and goodbye.